Hi, and welcome to Rise, Heal, and Grow. I'm Leah M. Hill. This show is a podcast production of Apollo Sunrise Center, which is a health, wellness, and spiritual retreat center in Merrimack, Massachusetts. On this show, we shine the light on those who nurture wellness and inspire positive change. My guest today is Cheryl Davey. She is a spiritual teacher and a healer who has spent nearly 3 decades communicating with the angels through automatic writing. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you for inviting me. This is exciting.
Wow, it's so great to have you and to see you again. We have known each other from a long time ago.
I know, quite a while. It's nice to reconnect,
so
I know.
It's exciting. We could talk about that a little bit too. But first I want to find out about this 3 decades that you've spent with this automatic writing. Tell us what's your personal journey that got you there?
Well, this is what got me on my actual spiritual journey.
Oh.
I had been praying for a certain outcome with something, and I was raised Catholic, so I thought you go right to the prayers.
Yep.
And I wasn't seeing the results that I was hoping for. And just serendipitously, I came across a book that taught about connecting with angels and getting information. So I tried it, and my first message was, be patient. So, and it's not a hearing,
Right.
it is just a thought.
It's
Comes in
just
as
a thought. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, doesn't Spirit love to give that message a lot to all of us?
It does, absolutely.
Right.
And then actually my curiosity got a hold of me, and here I am on my 60-second journal full of messages that are all
my
flagged and
goodness.
everything. So what I would do is I'd get some information, and I was so in awe about getting this message that would come through that it
Right.
just prompted more questions.
Yeah.
So
So we'll talk about like the process and
Sure.
what you do, but this is incredible. And how were you able to just really trust this process? I mean, 62 journals is a lot. That's 30 years right there, right?
Exactly, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
I started to trust it because I knew the words that were coming through were not my own.
Okay.
Like they would mix up the phrases or use a different word, or they would make up their own word.
Yeah.
So I thought, this can't be mine. So I would, at the beginning too, I would ask, who sent this message? So I would get various angels' names. I would get archangels, and it led to so many other accesses to information
Really?
that it took on a life of its own. And I'm still now, so many years later, in awe of the messages that I get.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited.
So do you get the feelings as well, or it's really just a thought?
It's a
Because I
thought.
find that so interesting because, in the work that I do with clients as an intuitive medium, it's like I get it all. I get the seeing, the feeling, the hearing, all of that. But
Yep.
for you to get it, like it feels like it's very focused that way.
It is for the
when you get
most
it.
part. I
Yeah.
don't get the feelings, but I do get, there's a sense of something.
Okay.
Whether, if someone comes through from heaven, for example, I can sense their sense of humor. And it just
Oh,
makes it
love
fun.
it.
It's not, I don't deal with any kind of dark energies. I choose not to. I've been trained that I can if I encounter that, but I just have a protection around me that
Right.
keeps that from me.
Right.
And
That's
so it's amazing, and I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. You're going through the 62 journals.
Exactly.
So maybe just hold that up a little bit and
Sure.
just tell it so we could show everybody.
All
and
right.
Show it
So
to the
this is
camera.
book number 62. As you can see, it is flagged because when I'm looking for information, I date everything, but I might be looking for information that's quick. So it's easier if I flag. So most of my journals do look like this. I'm
Well
happy to
used.
say, and the comfort it brings people,
Yeah.
especially from heaven and all that.
That's perfect. So maybe you just explain for us what is automatic writing.
Absolutely. Automatic writing is a term that's used when you say a prayer. Actually, it could be automatic spiritual writing too. When you say a prayer, you write down a question, you do a couple of deep breathing steps just to move the energy.
Okay.
And really what happens with me is when I do the deep breathing, my vibration raises, and then the spirit realm lowers their vibration, and where we meet is when I hear my name. Like if I say, okay, good morning, Archangel Raphael, this is my question. Then what I hear in my thoughts are, oh, good morning, Cheryl. Thank you for being with us today. And I ask, what would you like to share with me today? And then I just get page after page after page.
Wow.
And it just comes. And so there can be a sense of humor. Angels definitely have their sense of humor.
That's good to know.
Yes, exactly. It's let's see. It's insightful. It's very precise with the wording. They're very obviously very, very good with the words. Sometimes in the process, I will get a word, and I'm not quite sure if that's the right word or not. So that's where my pendulum comes in, and I'll ask them to be a little bit more clear, and we'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
So it's a process, but it's a
It
flow.
is.
So this is different from, you might be familiar with stream of consciousness writing, right? Because stream of consciousness writing for me feels like it's part of, a picture or something I already have in my mind.
Okay.
Where you are really writing directly what the angels
From
are
the
telling you
source.
from the source. So that's where it
Exactly.
feels different.
Yes.
I mean, maybe some stream of consciousness writing is from the source
Could be
as
related.
well.
Yes,
It might be just
I
a
believe
different
that.
process.
I think that's very true.
So,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that sometimes you do this for like quick questions or quick things. What kinds of things would people be able to use this for? Like kinds of questions or anything?
Absolutely. Everybody these days seems to be going through some kind of a transition, whether it's a career or a relationship or a move, a physical move. And if they're looking for some kind of guidance,
Right.
of course, the angels will give a lot of insight. They would never tell you what to do.
Right.
And
That's
but
what I
they'll
believe,
bring
too.
up certain points for you to consider to help you make your decision.
Right.
And I think that that's enough to help you make a good, clear decision. And one other thing I do is I start with gratitude when I ask my question, and then after each writing is complete, I also put my TY for thank you, because I want to continue the relationship and let them know how grateful I am for their
Right.
message.
Right.
So that's
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it
that's
is.
also important, like you mentioned, that the angels won't just tell you what to do.
No.
Right?
'Cause we have free will.
They give you, because we have free will, so they might give you the energy of a decision that you're looking to make. They might give you a little bit of insight
Sure.
or maybe suggestions or something, or
Exactly.
sometimes homework.
Exactly.
I get homework too sometimes from
Absolutely.
the angels of things that we need to do as well. But then it comes down to us making our own decision.
Absolutely.
Is really what it is. It's
Absolutely.
not that we're being told to do
Right.
something. So.
Sometimes people would prefer the angels make the
I
decision
think
for
so.
you.
I
It's
think
not that
you're right.
easy.
No, I know, but I think you're right. I think some people are like, I just need, I don't know, whatever. Like you said, which house to buy. I have two
Absolutely.
options. I don't know which house to buy. Should I buy this
Exactly.
one or this one? And what should I do? But
Exactly.
the angels won't tell you that.
No,
They'll tell you
they
to be
won't.
patient, like they
That's
told you.
exactly right. I'll never forget that. Yep, my first
That's
message.
perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, and are you also writing a book as well? You're also.
I am, and I'm going through the process trying to figure out how to incorporate all this information into my first book. I'm
Okay.
being told, and I feel pretty confident that there's going to be 4 books. So I'm just waiting. They're telling me, don't worry, it's just going to come through you, and it's going to be just
that's good.
just the way they want it.
Yeah.
So I have bits and pieces that is complete, but I'd
Okay.
like to be finished by the end of the year, by the end of 2025. So that's
For the
my
first
goal.
book,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay, and so this would be like an explanation or your experiences of the
Exactly.
process. Okay.
How it got started.
Yep.
A short version of how I got started and how it's transformed over the years.
Yeah.
Because now we incorporate, obviously, heaven and Akashic records and past lives. And all that plays a role in our existence in this lifetime.
Absolutely.
So,
Wow. And then you also have some other modalities and practices that you do at the same time, in addition to the automatic writing.
I do.
You're also a Reiki master.
Correct.
As well.
Yeah.
And you also practice energy clearing.
Yes.
What is that about? How do you do that?
So there are different forms. One of the most interesting ones, but they all are interesting. But this one is, I might get a call from someone that has got some noises in their cellar, perhaps, or they're feeling like a shadow in their house, or something like that.
So something maybe ghostly is going on here, right? Okay,
Exactly.
got it.
I'm careful to use that word, but basically,
Ghostly,
yes.
or something a little uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Something that maybe doesn't belong there.
Right. Okay.
So what I do is, one of my biggest and most used method is a pendulum. And I can remotely go into that house if I have the address, go into the house energetically. And just kind of use my pendulum and find out, okay, is there an energy there? Is there a spirit there? What can you share? So it's a combination of using the pendulum, using my journal to write. I can find out more often than not, there is an energy or a spirit that is there. The physical body has passed on, but the spirit for some reason got left behind. And it's searching for the light.
Okay.
So I will ask Archangel Michael several questions. I will get very detailed information from the spirit, the circumstances of their passing, what their concerns were that may have prohibited the passing of going into the light.
Okay.
So Archangel Michael and I will, coordinate everything, and then energetically we will release the spirit into the light, providing that's a high vibrational energy. But before they go, one thing that I've developed is a really nice relationship with these energies or spirits, because I'll say, okay, you're gonna be seeing your family members and so on. But I said, I want you to do me a favor. I really want you to come back after you're safely in, on the other side and in the light. I'd like you to just come back for a visit and let me know that you got there safely.
Oh.
It is one of the most rewarding experiences that I can have, because they're beyond grateful.
That's incredible.
Beyond grateful. So, and the reason that I will know who it is that comes is because there's an indication or a certain movement on my pendulum that will go back and forth. That means I have a spirit or an angel with me right there. And so it's great. They're so grateful. And sometimes those spirits that newly go into the light help other spirits to come through, to find me, to help them through the light.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you call yourself a medium? Or it's
I
just
don't
more
know.
like a vehicle through the way this process can take place. I think that's really profound. I really do, because I call myself a medium. I have many spirits over the years that have come and talked to me, and some that I think what I find so profound about what you just described is that when I've had the experience of someone making their transition, say from life to death, and I'm seeing the light, the tunnel of light that we talk about, and I see it and I'm watching it, and I'm watching their loved ones gather around them, and then I watch them go into the light.
Okay.
But I had an experience many years ago that I'll never forget, where the person who had passed, kind of like the example that you chose there, someone had passed suddenly.
Okay.
He was a young man and was kind of stuck. He was physically had passed on, but he hadn't really gone through the light yet. And he gave me permission to actually see it. Wow. As he was going through it. So it was like I was looking through his eyes, and it was the most incredible experience. I'll never forget it at all. It was the most incredible experience ever.
Wow.
And I was just thinking about that with you. It's like, are you seeing it or experiencing it? You're more like just asking the confirmation when this is happening?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And it is remarkable. The experience for the individual and the experience for me, like when I got my journal out to write down the message of the soul that came back to visit, in it, he said, and it kind of gets me choked up a little bit, because he said, so many times I saw Archangel Michael come for other people. This time, he came and took my hand.
Oh my gosh.
So it was so
Oh my gosh.
nice.
That, yeah.
It
totally
really is very sweet and very touching.
Right.
And I've even cleared groups of souls at a cemetery.
Oh, wow.
They had found a portal in a neighborhood, and the energies thought that was going to be their way to exit and go into the light, and that wasn't their exit. So I don't know, there were more than 20 energies at the time who had been waiting for decades to go into the light. So it's a whole phenomenon.
Because time is a whole different
exactly.
thing
There
over
is
there.
no
Right.
time.
There is no time.
Right.
That's what we say.
Exactly.
Right. It's all happening at once.
Exactly.
Right. Definitely. So this is so fascinating, and I love that when you get this confirmation of the spirit transition, that it's not only helpful for the spirit, right, who's finally found their way to the light,
right,
but also for those of us who are still here.
Exactly.
To have that kind of confirmation or that message of comfort from their loved one is so important. And I remember way back when we probably first met, I don't know how many years ago that was, and you were maybe you were doing the automatic writing, maybe not just started yet, but that you had given me a message at the time that I was writing my book. So I wrote a book called The Society of Selves many years ago, and it was a real struggle for me. It was really tough because even though it's a novel about a young boy with autism, it was in a lot of ways, it was about me. It was about my experience, my life, my feelings. And it was really hard for me to get that out there and get it in writing and for people to read it. And you had given me this beautiful message from the angels that helped me through that really tough time. That helped me so much, because I had felt really like I was like suffering through this process of writing the book, and the angels gave the message kind of like with you, like, be patient.
Yes, sure.
Be patient. You know, sometimes we don't always want to hear it, but be patient, and that it would be okay, and that I would eventually finish it, which I did. So I just always remembered that about you, that you gave me
now
such
I have
a
to go
beautiful
home and look it up.
message. Yes, I know. I probably should too, because I'm sure I still have it somewhere in my archives.
It's funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
I have people that I've written for many, many years ago who kind of shove their writing in a drawer.
Yeah.
And they decide they're going to clean out their nightstand, right? So I have people that call me, Cheryl, I found the writing that you did for me the other day, and I reread it, and it's as perfect today as it was 10 years ago.
Still
because
relevant.
our lives are very different. Exactly, that's the perfect word.
Definitely.
Relevant. It spoke to them because their circumstances are different and everything, but it gave them the same support that it did back then, but say 10 years later.
Yeah.
So they're timeless.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
agree
glad
with
about
that. So I'm definitely going to go and look for mine too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and I keep them all.
You do?
I do, yeah. They're all typed.
That's incredible. So what someone can expect from you, from working with you and receiving a message, is the actual words,
the printout.
the actual
Absolutely.
printout of everything.
And
so that's
it's very important to know that I go over it with them, because
You do, okay.
when we read the words together, they may have questions, which is, I welcome the questions, but I get an additional insight or intent of their words that are not on the page.
Oh,
So I
okay,
can
so that's
provide
important.
additional support or
Okay.
insight, I would say. And then sometimes, the last few times, a loved one has come through that is not on the paper,
Okay.
but comes through with
That time.
energetically. Yes, yeah.
So that's important that you do that follow-up too. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your pendulum class, because you also teach people how to use
Yes,
it,
I
right?
do. Yes, I do. So the first time I saw an energy practitioner use a pendulum, it was a short little L rod. I was blown away by that, because
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what makes that whirly
Yes, it was
work?
like spinning.
Exactly.
Right.
So anyway, over the years, I didn't choose to get one of those L rods, but I saw someone who worked hospice teach me about, it was a pendulum. I don't know what kind of a stone it was. A pendulum does not need to be anything fancy at all. For our class, I made an extra pendulum, and it's a piece of bakery string with like a, what do you call it? Like a key ring on the end. So anything that's a weighted object,
Anything
that's
weighted
all you need, yes.
that you can use, right.
So I get, what am I up to, like 5 or 6 different motions. So I get a yes, which is clockwise, a no back and forth, a ready for the next question, clearing, if I'm clearing space energy or cleaning a chakra for someone, I'll just set the intention that we do a high vibrational clearing, and it will spin like crazy to clear. And then if I'm clearing a space or, like I said, a chakra, you don't want to leave that space open. So I always infuse love and light to replace that old energy.
Right.
Let's see, I have a reversed pendulum motion that goes like this. When it does this, it means it is not for me to know the answer. Doesn't happen very often, but it does.
All right.
Because I started to get a weird reaction when it started to do that motion, and I had no idea what it meant. So I kept asking, I didn't get it. Then I was on a plane, and I was like half dozing off, and all of a sudden it came. It's like, okay, Cheryl, you're just not supposed to
You're
know.
not supposed to know.
Right.
Right.
And then my favorite one is if it goes back and forth, I don't know if the camera can see, but back and forth like that, east to west, that means I have a spirit, an angel, or a guide right there with me.
Okay.
So
you can confirm
and
that
it can
easily.
happen whether I ask a question or not. It just, I'll be playing with it or whatever, and it will, it'll just go in that direction.
That's fascinating. And so you teach people how to do this process as well.
I just work with people's yeses and nos.
Just yeses and nos.
At
Okay.
this point. If I start offering an advanced class, perhaps we'll get into that, because my symbols of yes and no may not be the same as yours.
Right.
And there are multiple people in the classes that I've had that don't, everybody's is a little bit different.
Right.
So I've been doing this for, I don't even know really, 10 to 15 years. And then I recently joined the American Society of Dowsers.
Oh, yes.
So I took their first class, but I'm well beyond a beginner. So, and it is, I have to say, it is one of the most fun classes to teach, because people can walk away getting really good information. I use this to book a flight. I use it to pick my seat, the date that I booked the flight.
That's fantastic.
Let's see, what else? And I use this example all the time, but it's 100% true. If I pull something out of the refrigerator, I need to test it, make sure it's still good. And it hasn't...
Without looking at the expiration date.
Right, if it's gone past, or if it's just something that I've made, I'll say, okay,
Yeah.
is this for my highest good to eat, or is this okay for me to eat? And I'll get a clear yes or no. So
that's good.
we
And
love
that's so
that.
good that you trust it, because I think that's a lot
I
of the
do.
issues with beginners is that they don't trust it, they doubt it,
Correct.
or they get something that's like not a
Yep.
clear yes or not a clear
Yep.
no, and does that mean maybe? Like, what does it mean?
Exactly.
So
And clearing the
that's where it's
pendulum
helpful.
is like imperative. If you've just cleared energy, it can kind of be stuck there. So I clear it all the time. Sometimes I will use Reiki
Yep.
in my hand, and then I'll just use the energy symbol. And sometimes I'll just do it with intentions. So
That's
anyway. So if anyone's looking for a Reiki class, not a Reiki class, but a pendulum class, you
Yeah.
can look on my website.
Yeah, so that's a great place to start. And you also teach automatic writing.
Yes, I do.
And you'll be coming up at teaching it at Apollo Sunrise Center.
I'm very
coming up
excited.
On
Oh my
September
gosh.
14th.
Yeah.
So people can find out more about that and learn more about Cheryl's class coming up on September 14th on the apollosunrise.com website. Just go to the website, go to the calendar. You can search by Cheryl's name. You can search by topic. You can just go to the month of September and you'll find
September
it. So
14th from 1 to 3.
Yep.
And every person will get a personal message from their angels. It's
great.
it's like 99.9% effective, and it can change your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely change your life.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, even in my own experience of, I've been a big journaler over the years, and I've done definitely some automatic writing, not following the whole process that you teach, but I've done some for myself. And when I go back and read it, like you said, it's timeless. It's incredible how much comfort it gives me and how much validation that I receive,
Absolutely.
you know, just like the pure validation. So that is probably one of the most valuable things that comes out of your class, is just like, for a lot of people, just validating that, yes, everything's okay.
Exactly.
Yes, you know, it's things that you're looking for, that you're praying for will happen.
Yep.
You just have to be patient, but it's just so helpful to have that
It is.
information.
And everyone
to keep it.
has the ability to do it. When people were saying to me, "Oh, Cheryl, you're so gifted," I said, "Thank you, but this is just something I stumbled upon, and then I pursued it because of my curiosity."
Yeah.
And as being born with, you know, energy and so many other things, anyway, we are all absolutely capable of doing this.
Right. Right.
So
And
don't think that you can't.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Because I know that, you know, you and I both have over the years taken so many classes, right?
Sure.
We've studied a lot of different modalities from a lot of different teachers, but it's incredible how all of those things come into play in the
Yes.
work that you do. Whether it's
Exactly.
clearing energy, like you said, from the space, you know,
Yeah.
clearing, helping spirits transition to the light, to answering questions about someone's career. I mean, it's
Sure.
just like, it spans
Absolutely.
everything
Yep.
because of so much time and effort that you have invested in this. you know.
Exactly, and you as well, that's
Yeah.
right. I had someone call me not too long ago that had a big decision to make for a career. So a lot of times you can't get an answer from a pendulum for yourself, because you're emotionally attached to the outcome.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
so
true.
it's like, okay, you have offer A and offer B. You really want B, but you ask your pendulum which one is better for you. Well, it's going to go to B, because your energy, your intuition is what causes this to move.
Right.
And that's what you want it to be. So she asked me to douse for her. And I had someone that I met who's lovely. Her cat was having an allergy. And she was in the dowsing class with me. And she said, "Cheryl, would you douse for me? Because I'm too attached
Oh, yeah. When
to
it's
the cat."
a
I said,
family
"Absolutely."
pet or something, yeah.
So we doused. There was a food allergy, and I doused, you know, item by item on the cat food, and we determined what it was, and worked out perfect.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so that was
wonderful.
good.
That's
Yes.
a great story.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. And the girl with the job offers found her way as well,
Yeah.
but she had to take she had to back up from it, because she was too, like I said, emotionally attached to the
Attached, right.
outcome.
I know.
And you can't
That's
be.
true. If you're emotionally attached to any of the outcomes with any of your spiritual questions, it will not come out clear for you. So that's why
Correct.
it's good to find someone like you who's a third party,
Exactly.
not interested in the outcome, where
Right.
you can be more clear.
Exactly.
So that's great. So for those out there who are interested in working with you or connecting with you, how would people find you?
Sure. So I have a website. It's called Whispered, WHISPERED, by Angels, plural ANGELS.net. So it's
.net.
whisperedbyangels.net. You can contact me by email. It's whisperedbyangels@gmail.com. And you can go through the website and send me a message. You can get in touch with me by email. I welcome any and all questions. If you heard something on this meeting with Leah and you have more questions, please call me. I love to talk about it, as you can see. So
That's great.
I welcome questions. If you're new to this and you want to chat, then we can certainly do that as well.
That's great. And you're on social media too?
Yes, I am. So I have Facebook. I have Whispered by Angels on Facebook. I have Instagram, Whispered by Angels. I'm on Instagram, not Instagram, but LinkedIn with my full name, Cheryl Davey. So yes, feel free to
lots
get
of different
in touch
ways
with
to
me.
get in touch with you. That's
Exactly,
good.
yeah.
And just to finish us off for today, in all of your years of experience with connecting with the angels and relaying messages and also getting messages for yourself, is there anything that you can think of that the angels would want us to know as the collective, you know, like humanity? Is there some like one message that
Yes.
would help us here today?
I'm glad you asked that, actually, because there's a lot of chaos going on right now
Yeah.
in the world and in the universe, and people just are kind of throwing up their hands and saying, okay, what's going on, and are we going to be okay? And there's an article actually on my website from Mother Mary, and I asked that question of her, and she said, know that, like, the plan is in place and that everything is going to turn out really good.
Oh,
So,
great.
in fact, I got a
Thank you.
message from someone just recently about that, and it says, "Don't worry." It's the ones that are coming through from heaven that are giving the same message, and it's the same, almost the same verbiage. That everything's fine, everything's going according to plan, and just trust.
Really?
We all need to trust.
That's so hard. That's
Yeah.
so helpful. Thank you. Because we all like looking, out the window. It does not look like things are going to plan.
I
It looks like things
know.
are in chaos.
Right.
And getting more stressful every day.
Yeah.
But that's so helpful to hear
Yes.
that not only did you get that message, but it's consistent
It
across
absolutely is,
messages
yes.
that we are to trust and to know that all is well.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
beautiful. What a great
Yeah.
way to end the show. Thank
I
you,
know.
Cheryl.
Thank you to the listeners, and this has been so fun.
Yes, thank you. So to all of you viewers and listeners here today, thank you for joining us on Rise, Heal, and Grow with Leah M. Hill. And come back and see us again because we have lots more episodes coming up.